Hi guys, how you doing? Come out today and I don't know, I thought we'd talk about Tinder a little bit. Facebook group that I belong to, Wolf Customs, the owner of the group, Justin Wolf, posted a link to a video from Dave Canterbury yesterday. I don't remember what the name of the video was, but it was about a new product that he's carrying in his store called Dragon's Breath, Dragon's Fire. I think it was Dragon's Breath. Anyway, essentially what it was a big pouch of tinder, pre-made, specially mixed, all sorts of what looks like some pretty good stuff in there, so you can have sure tinder to start your fire. Well, that sparked off a lot of discussion, whether it was necessary, you know. I don't even want to get into all that. I think it's a good product. It looks like a good product. I haven't tried it yet. I'll probably get one just to check it out and see what's in it. I don't think it's particularly necessary for me. I know what good tinder is. I know where to find it around here. But, you know, maybe there's some new stuff in there, something I hadn't thought of. And I think it's a great resource to have if you're limited on resources, if you're limited on time to gather resources, if you're, you know, in an urban environment where it's hard to gather things, if you're brand new at this and you don't know what to look for, I think it has a lot of applications. In any case, I wanted to talk about Tinder here in my environment a little bit. More times than not, when I come out to practice, I will use split wood. I'll take a piece of whatever, pine, oak, whatever is available in the area that I'm in, split it down, shave off some little bits of wood, use that as my tinder, use that to get the fire started, pile twigs or other pieces of small split wood, you know, whatever, build my fire that way. 9 times out of 10, that's how I do it. Not because that's the easiest way, but because the resources that are available to me down here in this particular area where I'm in today aren't always available to me. Today I'm down in kind of the lowlands and farmland. Right now I'm in a stand of pines. There's all sorts of tinder out there free for the taking. This is stuff that I gathered just on the way over here through the fields. So there's dry grasses, flower tops, cattail, you name it. So I have that available. I have wood that I can split down. And yesterday, after all this discussion about tinder and having a pre-made bag, I went out, well, I sat down at my kitchen table and grabbed all the various bags of tinder that I've gathered out and about over the months and created, I don't know what you would call it, a super tinder? I don't know, something like that. This is a mixture of birch bark, fat wood, cattail fluff, there's some jute twine in there, there is some processed cedar bark in here. All of it's been sitting inside my house for a long time. It's dry. It's really, really good tinder. So I made my own surefire tinder bag, and I mixed in some cherry wood chips from my smoker, kind of act as a fire extender. So I thought today what we do is we take a look, and just using a ferro rod, see which of these are easiest to get going. So I know this is really easy, and this is probably going to win the day because I spent a lot of time putting stuff in here. Everything's super dry, super processed. A lot of time went into making this bag. The wood shavings that I showed you are probably going to be the hardest to get going, just because I know how they behave. I'll be able to get them started, I have no doubt about that, but they're Those will probably take the most. This stuff that I gathered along the way, there's a mixture of grasses, flower tops, fluff. I didn't get any cattail. I didn't see any of that along the way. I just grabbed what was in the field. So we'll see how that takes. Ultimately, I'm going to wind up doing this one last and use that to start my fire, make my lunch. So yeah, let me get the camera set back up, and I don't know, we'll see how these tinders do. Like I said, I have my guess on how it'll be. I think the wood shavings will be the hardest. I think the stuff that I gathered along the way will be fairly easy, unless there's moisture in it, which I'm not sure. It's very cold, but we've had snow, so there might be some moisture in there, in which case that'll be difficult, or more difficult. And then my bag of super tinder. So give me a minute and we'll see what's what. All right, guys, I'm gonna start these wood shavings. Most of them are pine. I don't know, there's a mixture of stuff in here. Ferro rod that I'm going to be using is a great big light my fire model, and I thought I'd just use my Opinel as a striker because that works pretty well. All right. Ay, ay. Well, as much as I'd like to edit that one out, I'm not gonna. I'll leave it in. I should have had more shavings. I should have had more fine shavings. But it worked. I actually usually do a better job of that. Not today. All right, guys. Next up is the stuff that I gathered on the way in here. I said this is a mixture of flower tops, grasses, just whatever looked dry and fluffy that I could grab on the way in. As you can see, all that good fluffy stuff. Whew. Sparked up pretty well. Well enough to burn up my camera almost. Alright, last one. This is my homemade super tinder. I sat down, made this yesterday. You can see there's birch bark. There is cattail fluff. There is all sorts of fat wood mixed in here. I don't suspect I'm going to have any difficulty getting this one going. Just as a side note, everything except for these wood chips is stuff that I gathered, mostly from this area. Wow. I barely even got a spark into it. That was kind of ridiculous. That stuff's fantastic. Alright, I gotta move my camera before it gets burnt up. Alright guys, well, what did we learn today? I don't know about you, you might not have learned anything. I'm certainly no expert at any of this stuff. I never proclaim to be. Please don't look to me for expert advice. Now, you want to watch my channel, just come along for the ride. If you learn something great, you might learn how to do something, you might learn not how to do something. Probably with our first fire attempt, that was not how to do that. But in any case, you know, what did we learn? Personally, I learned, or should I say, reinforce that preparation is key. All right, you saw how much trouble I had getting those shavings to go. Number one, I didn't have enough of them. Number two, they weren't fine enough. Starting to get a little rushed for time, and I rushed that process. And every single time that I rush that process, it comes back and bites me in the rear end. Takes me forever. I can get it done, but it takes forever. Don't rush, do the proper preparations, and that method works great. I didn't do that today, and you saw what happened. It took me forever. Second attempt with the natural stuff that I gathered along the way. It actually worked really well. I could have had this fire going with that no problem. It took me, what, 2 strikes, I think? And only because I think my first strike wasn't the best strike I could have done. But that worked great, and that was, like I said, just stuff that I gathered back there in the field as I was walking in here. Third one, and this is where I say preparation is everything. Like I said, I took time yesterday to put this together. I sat down with a big chunk of fat wood and I shaved it down. I scraped it, I made dust, I made shavings, I made curls, I made chunks, sticks. I processed the heck out of that thing. I mean, it was a big chunk like that, and it's all in here, all of it. I took river birch, big huge bag of river birch that I had. Huge bunch of that, crumble it up, threw it in here. Cattail fluff from a pond not too far from here that I had gathered a while back. All good dry material. Cedar bark, again, dry. Stuff that I had sitting inside for a long time. Processed that up, mixed it in here. Oh yeah, I did do a little jute twine. That wasn't natural. And then I just threw in some wood chips from my smoker to kind of extend the life of the fire a little bit. But that all took me, I don't know, at least an hour, maybe more. There's a lot of prep time. There's a lot of fires in here. I only used a tiny amount of it. And you saw how easily that started. That impressed me. I didn't even get a full strike. I got a little partial strike off of that ferro rod. Got a couple little sparks in there, and it went up like nothing. So, yeah, I'm going to be splitting this up into packages and keeping it in my kit. Maybe vacuum sealing packages this stuff up. I don't know. But, in any case, good materials, good preparation, and starting a fire, you know, with one strike with a ferro rod isn't that difficult, but you got to take the time. You guys watched my last video. I tried to do a one-strike fire using oak, only oak. That was a abject failure as far as getting it done in one strike. But it didn't take me too terribly many strikes. I did a much better job of prepping it than I did here. But I guess now I'm just rambling. So, I don't know. I learned a few things today. I learned that this stuff rocks. I may try some of Dave's stuff just to see what's in it. Maybe I can improve this, I don't know. I'm not sure how that really worked well. I'll tell you what, if you guys are set up for a video response, how about you mix up your own bag of super tinder from stuff that you guys have in your area, and put it on video and show us what you got. Try it out. See if it'll work in one strike like this one did. Yeah, if not, you know, leave some comments down below. Tell me what you guys do. Do you have any special tinders in your area? If you have trouble finding tinder, questions, comments, whatever, leave them down below. If you're set up for it and you're so inclined, do a video response. Tag me in it and I'll check it out. I think that's it. I'm gonna throw a little more wood on here, see if my water's ready. I'm gonna eat lunch, have some tea. See you guys.